Hey, how's it going? It's me, Ricky Stewart. Welcome to my front room. It is time for functional conditioning yoga. Let's sort out some smart mobility. Kind of like using the sofa, like always. It's a good little tool to help us organise our body, and we kind of use it a lot anyway. And it's a nice way to get the floor out of the way. So if you just do all yoga on the floor, there's always this barrier that if you're sat, then you need to be at 90 degrees to sit upright. Your legs need to be out at least 90 degrees, and we have to make these compensations. On the sofa, anything is possible, because we can just make changes. When we're using the sofa, they'll really budge right up to the end, so you're kind of perched on the end of the sofa. It doesn't have to be a sofa, it could be a bed, it could be a chair even, like a dining room chair or something like that. Anything that you can just perch your bum on the end and kind of sit upright. So if we start with just breathing first, let your eyes close, maybe shrug your shoulders up for a second, and then see where those shoulders land as you kind of melt those shoulders down. Relax your jaw, relax your tongue, and expand the rib cage. So as you breathe in, everything expands. As you breathe out, you draw it in. Try and make your breathing only the length of the movement. So you feel your rib cage move. When it stops moving, that's the length of your in-breath. When you draw it in, you feel your rib cage stop moving inwards. That's it, that's the end of the out-breath. Then start moving your rib cage side to side. So you're pulling your ribs down towards your hips from one side to the other, one side to the other. Then keep your head and your face looking forwards. If you cross your arms over your chest and rotate, squeeze just a little bit further around every time you rotate. That's it. That's cool. Then let's see about unravelling your spine. So if you push your knees away from each other and try and lift the bottom rib, hinge forwards as far as you can. It's got to be a hinge, so it's only in here, coming forward. So you're not leaning over with your spine. You're just tilting, tilting, tilting just from the hips. And find your end of the hips. It's about here for me. I can't get any further. That is it. I've got to kind of use my feet to make a structure. Then I want you to unravel your spine. So you start from the top of your back, curling down, and try and get your torso as low as you can. You might even feel a little stretch in your hamstrings, maybe the groin as well, as you get elbows as low as you can. And then lift the chest up to this flat back again. So I'm back to my end of my hips here, and then a hinge back up, hinge forwards, unravel the spine. Spine back up, then hinge back. Moving kind of slow and under control. That's it. Unravel the spine. Cinch it back up to here. So this is hip hinge, this bit here. If you're not sure, maybe just do a few reps where it's just hip hinge and see if you can feel like this is it. It's only the hips that are moving, which means your coccyx has to move. It means your bum kind of lifts here. The coccyx lifts and nothing's changing through my spine. I find this end and then unravel. And bring it back up and back up. Then let's see if we can do some shoulders. So if you pick your arms up, both arms, and reach your arms back, maybe touch either side of the sofa and see if you can stretch out your chest, and then reaching all the way back up again, reaching back and back up, back and back up. Breathing and moving slow. Last one. Now I want to bring your left hand to your left knee, right hand across to that left ankle, then push through this knee and pull on this ankle so we get this rotation through the chest. Hold this, hold. Then coming over to the other side, this right hand comes onto the right knee, left hand onto the right ankle. Push your hand through your knee and kind of pull on that ankle. I'm trying to just stretch out this rotational stuff in the spine. Perfect. Then coming up into standing. I've been doing a big focus on feet recently and how they are your foundation of movement. Everything goes through these feet. So if you just split your stance a little bit, so one foot is just in front of the other, bend both knees and stretch your toes out as much as you can, and then heel down. Stretch your toes out as much as you can, then heel down. That's it. Trying to get this heel up high and back down. Your toes constantly pressing the whole time, toes pressing into the floor. That's it. Cool, little bend in the knee. That's it. And take a step back. And see, bend this front knee, lift this heel, drop it back down. Lift the heel, drop back down, looking for this stretch in the toes every time. That's it. This structure of having this heel high, having a straight line from your shin to your laces on this back foot, that's the shape you should be able to do as you take long strides or even running on uneven surfaces. Normal running doesn't ask for this much of an exaggeration of your ankle, however. It's a shape that's there. If we can get strong there, nothing bad can happen. Yes. Then swivel around so that those feet are just a little bit of a distance away from each other. Little bend in both knees, stretch out the toes, bring it back down. The toes are staying active through this. Pushing toes down. Lift the heel, drop it back down. Lift the heel, drop it back down. A few more. That's it. And take a step longer. Do the same again. This front knee stays over the top of the ankle. Lift this heel, drop back down. The toes are pressing the whole time on this back foot. That's it. Cool. A few more. That's it. And last one. Yes. There we go. Okay, let's see if we've got a little bit of strength in these knees. So I need you to face your sofa or a chair or something that you can tap your knees onto. I want to see if you can go tiptoes as high as you can and try and get your knees as far forwards as you can, then bring it back. Knees as far forwards as you can, bring it back. Don't break at the hips. So there's no hip hinging here. Tensing the muscles in your belly, you drop your knees as far forwards as you can, bring it back. It's a very strong possibility. If you're strong, you might be able to go all the way down to the floor, all the way up like that. That's pretty tough. Don't worry about getting those knees to the floor. You've got your safety net of just touching your knees to the sofa like this. We're practicing being able to stay on tiptoes, keeping your big toes active. So you get those knees forwards, and it should feel like a little stretch here in the thighs. Do a little focus on these thigh muscles here. Okay. So then, if you drop into kneeling, go sideways on so you can see. You've got laces down, so toes pointing backwards. Push your hips forwards, drop back, and push yourself back. So these thigh muscles push you back. If you feel strong and confident here, then you can drop all the way back to bum to heels, and then push yourself back up again. That's pretty tough, that's a big ask to be able to do that. So this little play around with this end range is absolutely fine. And it's just keeping the irradiation on so you don't leak any energy out. Bum muscles have to stay tensed. These thigh muscles get stretched out every time. That's it. Work out your breathing at the same time. That's it. A couple more. This movement in stretching, I think, is probably the most important thing about our mobility. So if you grab a cushion, put it down on the floor. If you struggle for mobility in these thigh muscles, then you can stack more cushions up. But if you put your laces onto the sofa, and then drop down into half kneeling like this, and push your hip forwards, should get this stretch on the thigh here. Maybe you could do some shoulder cars while you do this. So if you go palm up, reach up, back, around up behind your back, and turn it around like this, bring it back to the start again. While you're doing these shoulder cars and finding the end of your shoulder, this thigh muscle is getting lengthened and stretched out. Laces are on top of the sofa, knees down on the floor, this hip is coming forwards. Stack your knee up higher if you need more help, even if you can take the cushions off the sofa, off another sofa, off a chair, so that you get even more height. That'll give you just a little bit of help. I'm quite happy here. Getting a pretty decent stretch down this thigh. That's it. Last one. Okay, now we need to make a bit of effort here. So your hips are pushing forwards. I want you to push laces into the sofa behind you. So you're pushing your foot hard into the sofa. So we're kind of loading up these thigh muscles. Keep holding, keep holding. Going 3, 2, 1. Drop your shoulder down onto your knee and then try and lift that heel towards your bum. You might get cramp in the hamstrings, but you'll be alright. Keep lifting, keep holding, going 3, 2, 1, and relax. And see if you can just pick yourself up and play around with this a little bit. So maybe move hips side to side, forwards and backwards if you've got a bit of space. Perfect. Okay, then coming up. Should feel kind of ready in this hip now. I always feel like I've got more space for hip flexor action because I've stretched all of this stuff out. Right, let's try the other side. I'm just going to move across a little bit. So your laces go up onto the sofa, drop this knee down, pull the hip forwards so you get this stretch on your thigh. Palm up first, reach this up, around, back behind your back, straighten out, rotate, bring it back. Moving kind of slow. That's it. Keep teaching this shoulder stuff. If it just looks like you're waving your arm around like this, it's going fast, that isn't it. You have to find a connection to all of these end ranges and kind of push into them. Nice. Okay, then push your laces into the sofa and load it up. So laces push, you should feel these muscles in your thigh kind of contract a little bit so they load up. Keep loading, keep loading. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Drop your shoulder down and then lift this heel towards your bum. Pushing toes down. Keep holding. 3, 2, 1. And coming up. Oh, yes. Should feel kind of bouncy, kind of good now. I certainly do. Alright, let's get into hip stuff. Let's stick with this nice easy hip stretch. So the easiest version is if you straighten out your right leg, put your left ankle on here like this, and then hinge forwards a little bit, kind of holding this shin where it is. Or you can bring this foot up a little bit, like this, so this knee gets a bit higher, and then hinge like this. If you can't quite get into this, then just stack your bum up higher, so your bum's up a bit higher, you'll have a bit more space to work with. I'm just hinging forwards, looking for this stretch in the outside of my glute here. At the same time, kind of sitting up a bit taller as well. That's it. Keep holding. Keep holding. Then start loading this up, so push your ankle down. That's it. Keep pushing, keep pushing. Pushing harder and harder. Load this up. Load it up, load it up. This ankle pushes down through the thigh. 3, 2, 1. And then I want you to take away this bottom leg. Pick up this ankle, this shin. With your hands underneath like this. Hold it up towards your chest and then take your hands away. And it'll spring away a little bit, but own as much of this as you can. Keep holding, keep holding. 3, 2, 1. Drop it down. Let's try the other leg. So this ankle comes up. Further away your foot gets from the sofa, the easier this is. We hold this up here like this and hinging forwards. That's it. Sit up tall. Relax your jaw and hinge forwards a little bit. We're just hanging out in this passive stretch for a while. Shoulders down away from ears. Load this up now. So if you push your ankle down, it gets stronger and stronger. Keep loading this up. Keep pushing. Keep pushing, keep pushing. 3, 2, 1. Stretch this foot out. Now try and lift this shin and this ankle. And try and pull it towards your chest. This is all I've got. This is really it. And it's tough. I'm just trying to get stronger and control these muscles just a bit more. That's it. Okay, let's get into standing hamstring stretch then. So if you set your legs left foot forwards, right foot back, I need you to bend the right foot. So that back leg bends a little bit. Push your hips back. So you should look for this stretch down the left leg. The front leg is getting stretched. Keep going down. Maybe drop as low as bringing your fingertips either side of your foot. If you can't quite get there, then you can always use your sofa to support you. And reach your bum back further and see if you can bend the back knee some more. And just hang out in this hamstring stretch here. Toes are pressing into the floor a little bit. Relax your jaw and breathe. Keep holding. Then move hips side to side a little bit. That's it. Then try and maybe pull your foot backwards. It's not going anywhere, it's just pulling on the floor. This foot is trying to drag backwards and we're loading up this hamstring. Keep holding. Then I want you to keep this front leg with your thigh in your belly and then bend down and sit your hamstring onto your calf and this back leg and then press back up into that hamstring stretch. Drop back down, press back up, drop back down and press back up. Last 2. Oh, that's exhausting. And coming up, it should feel all burny in the thighs, a little bit of lactic acid. That's good stuff. So, set those feet apart just a little bit. Little bend in this back knee, and hips start reaching back. Little bend in this front knee as well if you need it. It can be locked out, but I'd rather have a little bit of play. Keep coming down, fingertips either side of this foot. Hold here. Remember, you can use the sofa as a little bit of help here. You're trying to get this bit here to lengthen,
So your hamstring, that means your bum cheek needs to lift up. So maybe if you bend the back knee some more, imagine trying to pull this front foot backwards a little bit. So we're loading this up. Keep stretching, keep stretching. That's it. That's cool. And really try and load this up. So you're trying to drag this front foot back as hard as you can. Keep holding, and then bend this knee. So your heel pops up on the back leg, and then you press back up, back down, back up, back down. Last one. That's exhausting. Coming all the way up.
Oh, let's get into some spine stuff. So if you bring yourself down into kneeling, have your heels touching, push your heels together here, push your chest high and tuck your chin into your chest and make only lower back tilt like this. So just lower back, going into extension, into flexion, extension, into flexion. That's it. Keep pushing chest high. Try and find these back muscles all scrunched up here. And then tuck tailbone under, pulling belly button up here. Back down, back up. I'm trying to really localise just lumbar spine, so it's only lower back. That's it. It's cool. And then if you bring your ankle across, so your ankle's on your thigh and your knees across your torso, do the same again. It's just lower back. Cool. And then swapping legs. This ankle comes across the thigh, it's just lower back. That's it. Couple more. So good. Alright, then coming up into standing, we'll get into more hamstring stuff from a different angle now. I want you to get legs, imagine being in straddle like this and stretching your hamstrings like this when you lean forward. Except one leg is up here on the side of the sofa and I'm turning my body like this and I'm going to try and hinge forwards until I find a decent hamstring stretch that I'm really happy with keeping. Just hold this here. So your toes are pointing up, your knees pointing up, my torso, my body is facing out the ways. You should be able to make this happen on any kind of sofa really. Even if you've got just a chair or something, you could put your heel up on the chair and hinge out of this. I've got my calf up against the sofa, which is helping my balance a little bit. I'm looking for this little stretch in the groin. So I'm kind of pulling my hip away and hinging, looking for this hamstring stretch at the same time. Hold this here. Since we've had a little think about feet and toes and things already, on this standing foot my toes are pressing down. Keeping this. Then start loading this up, so you push your heel down into the sofa here. You can feel this groin start biting on, pushing my hips back a little bit further, tensing muscles in my belly a little bit. Keep holding, keep holding. 3, 2, 1, sitting up tall. And the chance of me getting airtime here without leaning out to the side are very slim. So I've just got to try and find some hip flexors here. It's exhausting, it's really hard for me. I'm just looking for some connection to this stuff, trying to push down into the floor, trying to tense this bum muscle, lift and lift and lift. Keep holding, going 3, 2, 1, and soften. And over to the other side then. So this foot comes up like this, and open out to the side. That's it. This will be our last little bit of hard work. Looking for groin plus hamstring here. That's it. You can make yourself a little bit further away from the foot. That works. Keep holding. Explore a little bit on this side. I feel like I've got to really search for that place where I think that I'm learning from, and that's the place that I'm learning from, and that's the only way that this works. Keep holding, and start loading it up. So you push this heel down. Keep holding. Drive this heel down hard, then up tall, trying to lift this foot, which is empty. Come on, I just pull this way a bit. That's it. I've found it now. No chance of any airtime here, but I'm quite happy just digging in, trying to search for it. Holding, going 3, 2, 1, and coming out. And then sitting down onto the edge of the sofa, bring your hands onto your knees and just move your pelvis. So you're kind of rocking on your sit bones here. So the tailbone lifts, tailbone rolls back down, tailbone lifts, rolls back down. It's this fidgeting actually that's really helpful for us if you do a long drive or have to sit for a long time at work, that you get into this habit of being able to find new shapes and be strong in them. So you've got access to all of this stuff. That's it. And cross your arms over your chest, roll down. Hold. Pick yourself back up. Palms together, thumbs to forehead, tuck your chin and roll forwards. Namaste. Thank you so much everyone for hanging out. It's always fun. Let me know what you got going on. Let me know how I can help you and we will work it out. Alright, enjoy the rest of your Tuesday and we'll see you soon. Bye everyone. Bye.